Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into the story of Iran's new supreme leader, a man who's at the very center of a massive global crisis, and who, get this, might not even be alive.
All right, so let's just jump right in with a huge question that intelligence agencies and world leaders are scrambling to answer. You've got a country of over 80 million people right in the middle of a major conflict, and nobody seems to know if the guy in charge is, well, conscious.
You know, this quote from Michael Rubin really hits the nail on the head. It perfectly sums up this bizarre situation. It's so weird, people have started calling it Schrodinger's Ayatollah. Is he alive and running the show, or is he incapacitated, maybe even dead? Right now, he's somehow both.
So how did we even get here? Well, his father, Ali Khamenei, was killed in an airstrike, and almost immediately, his son Mojtaba gets named the new supreme leader. And then, poof, he just disappears, gone from the public eye.
And into that silence, you just have this flood of completely contradictory stories. I mean, it's just chaos. On one side, you have news agencies tied to the Revolutionary Guard calling him a janbaz. That's a term for a seriously disabled veteran, hinting at things like amputations. Then you hear whispers from intelligence circles that he's in a coma, totally out of it. But then the official government line? Oh no, he just has a few scratches, he's in full health, in control of everything. I mean, which one is it?
And here's the thing. It's been over a month. And in all that time, we have seen zero, and I mean zero, definitive proof that he's okay. Sure, the regime puts out statements in his name, but they come out late. Some experts are even pointing out little errors in them, saying it feels like they were written by the IRGC, not Mojtaba himself. There's no video, no new audio clip, absolutely nothing to prove he's actually in charge.
So to really understand what's going on now, we've got to look at the man himself. We have to peel back the layers on Mojtaba Khamenei's past, because for decades, he's been one of the most powerful people in Iran, but he's a guy who is never, ever meant to be seen.
You see, his life story isn't your typical politician's rise to fame. Not at all. He was born right into the inner circle of the revolution. As a teenager, he fought in the Iran-Iraq War, and that's where he built his first really strong connections with the Revolutionary Guard. Then, kind of late in life, at age 30, he starts his clerical studies before planting himself right in the center of all power in Iran, his father's office. And this is where he got his real power. It's called the Beit-e-Rahabari, or the House of the Leader. And you have to understand, this is not just some administrative office. No way. Think of it like the central nervous system for the entire regime. It's basically a shadow government with its own intelligence wing, its own security forces, and its own massive financial network. And Mojtaba, he was the gatekeeper. He controlled access to his father, and from the shadows, he ran this incredibly powerful machine.
And this is absolutely crucial to understand. Mojtaba's power, for all those years, it didn't come from the people. He's never held a formal government job, never been elected to anything. His influence was built on two things and two things only: being the supreme leader's son and his super tight relationships with the security guys, especially the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRG.
Okay, so that brings us to the chaos of March 2026. This is the moment where this man of the shadows gets violently shoved into the spotlight. And in that one moment, the entire nature of the Islamic Republic was turned on its head.
I mean, think about it. The whole point of the 1979 revolution was to get rid of a monarchy. They overthrew a hereditary king, a shah. The ideal was a republic based on religious and revolutionary merit. But the reality? The second a crisis hit, what did they do? They created a hereditary succession, power passed from father to son, pushed through by the military. It's the very thing the republic was founded to prevent.
So how on earth did this happen? I mean, Mojtaba didn't even have the right clerical rank you're supposed to have to be supreme leader. Well, it was a deal, a classic quid pro quo with the IRGC. They basically strong-armed his appointment through the Assembly of Experts, and in return, he gave them a simple promise: I will protect your interests.
So why was the IRGC so desperate to have him in charge? Well, as always, you've got to follow the money. This wasn't just about politics. This was about protecting a gigantic financial empire.
Take a look at that number, $100 billion. That's the estimated value of the IRGC's business empire. It is a massive network of companies that do everything from building dams to running cell phone networks. And Mojtaba was their guy, the one they trusted to protect it all.
And it's not just the IRGC's cash. A huge investigation by Bloomberg alleges that Mojtaba himself controls an enormous, secret global property empire.
We're talking mansions on Billionaires Row in London, a villa in the Beverly Hills of Dubai, properties in Toronto, a luxury hotel in Germany, the list goes on. So how does he hide it all? Well, of course, none of these assets are in his name. It's all filtered through this complex web of offshore companies and tied to guys who act as his frontmen, like the sanctioned construction tycoon Ali Ansari. It's this shadowy network that links his political power to just immense, hidden personal wealth.
All right, so let's put all the pieces together. You have a guy who has spent his entire life in the shadows, who has deep, deep ties to the military, who has a massive hidden fortune, and he vanishes at the exact moment he's supposed to step into the light and take power.
Which brings us right back to the biggest, most terrifying question of all. Who is really in charge of Iran right now? Is it an incapacitated man in a hospital bed? Or is the IRGC just using his name? Are they using him as a phantom, an avatar, to make their direct military rule look legitimate? Have they finally completed their transition into a military junta that's just hiding behind a clerical costume?
And look, the answer to that question is, it's enormous. The stakes couldn't be higher. We're talking about who controls Iran's military, who has their finger on the nuclear program, who directs all those proxy forces across the Middle East. The stability of the entire region, maybe the world, is hanging in the balance here.
So as world leaders try to negotiate and de-escalate this conflict, they're faced with this really unsettling possibility. They could be dealing with a ghost. They could be shaking hands on a deal with people who are representing a leader who isn't even conscious. As Michael Rubin put it, a world leader could be outmaneuvered by a dead man. And that leaves all of us wondering about the phantom at the top.